said, we're recording now. And someone said to me, why'd you leave that bit in? And I said,
Yeah.
I just really can't be bothered cutting it out. there's, there's no
It's
artistic.
authentic, right?
It is. Well, I tell people that it's authentic, but it's a bit of obviously because I'm putting so many shows out, right? It's like it has to be like almost like a conveyor belt, you know. So I have to quickly do them, and obviously family life and things like that. So, but anyway, enough about me. This is about you, DDS. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you for having me.
That's okay. I remember we spoke before.
Sorry.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. It's perfect now.
Yeah. And I think we spoke before the show, and you said, "Oh, you know, what are we going to talk about?" And I said, "Well, you know, you just released a single a couple of weeks ago, and you're a DJ, and that career is gone at the moment, right? And so there's things to talk about."
Exactly.
And I haven't spoken to you in years, have I? You know, it's been a long time since I last spoke to you.
I think you had black hair then.
Yeah.
So it's been quite long. Even me, I think I got a few here as well.
Yeah.
But it must have been about 10, 15 years now, right?
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah. You haven't changed much at all, if I'm honest. And
really?
yeah. And yeah, we all expand. In some areas, but that's life, isn't it? But it's good to see you again, and I love the fact that you're still doing music. And I remember you way back in the Punjab radio days, right, when you was in the music, and we've got a mutual friend in Shin GC, and so it was lovely to see your single come out. So you know, we're not going to talk about the 15 years I haven't spoken to you, but you know, so for people listening and watching, I know you do Enigma Roadshow as well. So you're DJ as well as a producer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So just it literally goes hand in hand. I've been producing for nearly 15 to 16 years, 17, probably longer than that. And same time, that's how long I've been DJing as well. So it's just been it's been a very long time now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously the DJing side now. Since March, it's been literally zero functions, zero gigs. From where I used to do about three minimum a week.
Wow!
So you can imagine it's completely changed my sort of weekends and lifestyle, really. So, but it's just So obviously that's sort of given me a bit more opportunity to release music. So that's where obviously I thought, you know what, we've been in lockdown for about 3 months now, back in June, July, and I was like, let's just start preparing all the songs that have accumulated over the years. Let's just freshen them up and start releasing them. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah. It's amazing how a lockdown sort of focuses the mind on other things. You know, some people kind of want to relax, and I suppose, and watch Netflix, and I enjoy doing that as well. And
exactly.
But you know, some people kind of think, you know, there's some projects I put to the side.
Yes.
Let's bring them back, you know. And before we talk about your projects, I just want to talk about the DJing part, because it's an important part at the moment. And you know, we've just had news that lockdown restrictions in certain areas. I think venues are not really sure what to do, whether to accept bookings, and people who are planning to get married, you know, they can't really make a decision, can they?
They can't. It's a very, it's very hazy times at the moment. The thing is, it's when you're booking a wedding or a function, it's usually a minimum of a year. So, for example, if you want to get married in next year, you should have started looking in the summer, and then started getting all your vendors involved, booking your right suppliers and whatnot. But the problem is now they're doing this. Clients are still wanting to book, but they don't know what the legislation is going to be in summer, because obviously now until March now we can only have 15 people at a ceremony, not even a wedding. So it'd be a wedding ceremony. So we're stuck in the middle where we're trying to get the business in. And obviously we have to do that by, when you're running a business, you have to do this because it's not DJing now. It's become a whole entertainment sort of company where we're literally forecasting everything. And now we literally can't do. We're stuck. The industry is stuck at the moment. So DJing wise, yeah. So it has a big effect on everyone at the moment. But it's good in a way because it's opened up a lot for, as in music wise, where I was very busy on the weekends DJing, I can now produce. But again, financially doesn't help. And I think a lot of people in the same boat.
Yeah. I've got some, as you know, quite a few friends in the music industry, and
exactly.
they're in a similar boat as you. And financially, it's massive because if there's one thing that's set in stone, it's the Indian wedding season.
Exactly. And it's such a big industry that I don't think people understand how big this industry is. Where it was getting bigger and bigger every year. And we've seen, if someone's having a wedding, just say last year, their cousin wants to have a wedding this year, they will want it to be completely different and a different scale. So it was always evolving in that way. And, we were like always coming up with different ideas and different, just to have that little difference. But now it's literally come back to, it's probably going to be back to basics, where the sound, you have the sound system, a little bit of lights. So it'll be probably that. And then I think then it will start again, but it's like definitely hit the restart button.
Yeah. I mean, I think I heard on the news, they were talking about weddings, and I don't know if they were talking mainly about the English weddings. It was on 9 o'clock news or something. And they talked about, is it 1.2 or almost £2 billion industry? And in my head, I was thinking, I don't know if they factored in Asian weddings in this, right?
This is the thing. They should. It must be much more than that. It has to be, because what we see as well is we see it's like concerts now. Well, then literally a year ago, it was when you go there, you're like, if for example someone who's not Asian came there, they would not understand. They'll be gobsmacked with what's going on. And that's the reality of how it was. Obviously now it's not. But yeah, we just have to sort of go with the flow.
Yeah, and no one really knows. It's uncertain times, and I kind of missed the old back to basics weddings, because I remember when my sister got married. The case, we had the caterers, and we were the waiters. Me and my friends, with the plastic trays, spilling foods, and having the odd having a.
Do you have the crisp on the table?
Cheese and onion crisp, ready salted.
Oh, there you go.
Lemonade, Coke bottle, and KP nuts.
Brilliant. That is how it used to be.
Oh yeah, and Five Alive juice, and that was the starters.
Can't forget the tropical Five Alive.
Tropical. That's if you was a bit posh. I don't know what we had. We had the cheapest thing going at the cash and carry, but yeah, they were good days, man. And but so I think DJ is going to have to adapt as well, right? So when it does come back, do you think maybe they're going to have to look at their pricing as well, because it's astronomical at some DJs, eye-watering prices?
The thing is, pricing wise, the DJ fee is always that's one price. So whoever the DJ is, but then obviously you have all this add-ons, so the extras. So for example, people want screens. They want lighting. They want, that's always the extra. Obviously, that's going to take a hit now, because if you can't host a wedding for 500-600 people, there's no point in having that size screen in that venue, and the venue is going to be much smaller. So we have to sort of adapt and think which way to turn our business now. So, for example, we're thinking, okay, if the screens and the light show is not going to be the thing, maybe make it a bit more, intimate. Yeah. Where we're making it more unique for the bride and groom, where we're printing something that's bespoke for them. So it's just like just sort of, we have to change with the times. It's like we've been given, we've been in this for about 6 months, and we have to sort of we have to change.
Yeah.
That's long enough for us to, you know, start working with what we've got now.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a difficult time, not just for DJs.
Yeah.
Like you said, the weddings are so big. There's so many people involved in it, you know, caterers, you know, the table dressers, and there's all sorts going on, right? And
It's everything. There's so many vendors and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, some of the weddings have been unbelievable. I've been to some, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. You know, like they have like a cocktail bar stuck in the middle of the hall. You know,
In the
it's
middle,
like
yeah.
and it's just
This is how it was sort of changing as well. So it was going towards sort of bar culture, where, you know, when you go now, everyone rather than going clubbing, they go to bars. So they just want music in the background, where they have the center point is the bar. So that sort of got adapted into like weddings. So they had the bar there because everyone runs to the bar, and then the dance floor sometimes was around the bar, and with Asian weddings, you're gonna get a casualty, or, you know, if if the dance floor's there. But it was a sort of the thing is, you could see where the whole thing was adapting to the culture, like British culture, for example.
yeah.
But yeah, so now obviously it's changed. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. It'd be great to get you back on, maybe, you know, when the wedding season kicks off again at some point. And see how you guys are getting on, and purely out of interest. And I think also for people that are thinking of getting married, they could think, well, Enigma Roadshow is back on the road, right? We're gonna
Exactly. At least they know where we're still live and kicking.
yeah. So, I mean, when did you start your DJing? Was you said 15 years ago, roughly? Was it just yourself at the beginning with some decks and?
Yeah. It's probably even been before that. I used to basically I used to DJ at school with turntables. Not even turn. Sometimes I had like a tape cassette deck where I had one turntable connected, so that would be playing the Bhangra track, and the vinyl would be instrumental. So that's how I started off. It was literally at home, and then it started off doing functions at school, like we had the Diwali bashes and whatnot. So I was DJing there, and then I so I started doing remixes, and this was like the LimeWire and Napster days. So I was like an internet DJ. So everyone used to download my songs, and there's a few of us that we used to do it quite regularly. There's like, I was from here. There's someone from Canada. There was someone from Australia. And back then, you can imagine, you know, we had our 56K modems, you know, trying to upload a song. And so I've been through the whole thing where I used to record on a DAT, then I used to record on like a CD or mini disc, and you know, it's progressed so much now. It's just like click of a button and I can, you know, release a song.
Yeah. What's that? There's an app in there. What's it called? Splice, or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
it's
called. Splice. There's so many. Like now, even I get emails now because I've released something. You get like cold callers or cold emails. People bombarding you, like, you know, for your next release, we can do it on this platform. And there's like, you know, so there's so many platforms now.
Yeah. So, and for yourself as well, you've obviously been a DJ throughout the sort of internet period as well, I would say, you know, like with social media coming along, and that's a bunga in itself, right? Social media, right? And honestly, it's a full-time job in itself, that. And it's one thing that annoys me. I love doing the shows. I love talking to people like you. I love making my little promos. I like doing stuff like this. The social media part of it, it's honestly, it's a headache, right? And it's getting long. It takes longer and longer. So when I upload a show, that's the easy part. It's the promoting.
Yes, this is the thing. It's where I used to, basically, when I released my first track was in 2010. It was called Ik Jindari with Bikram Singh. So we released that, and the reason I released that was because he was an artist from America. I was a new artist from UK, and then we had the female singer who was from India, but she was living in California. So in that aspect, I thought, okay, you know, I've got everything covered, as in, you know, globally. And then was like the marketing. The marketing was very simple then. It was either, you know, you had your TV channels that you go to. We had Facebook, but it wasn't as big as it is now. So it was literally that, that release and any other release was quite simple. You do it, and everyone hears about it, and it's it's in the market basically.
Yeah.
Now it's it's completely changed, where the number one is the shelf life's gone. If I, like, for example, if I release a song now, it's someone will listen to it once or twice, because you've got the streaming culture, where before you used to buy a CD and that was your property. So you had that CD. If you're scratched, then you have to buy another CD, and that's extra money. Now, then it came to a stage where you download songs, and that was, if you lose it, you just download it again for free. So then it went to that culture, and then it's gone to streaming, where streaming it's always available, and it's literally you pay whatever to these streaming outlets, where it's £10 a month or £15 a month, but you get unlimited music, and that makes it so much easier for the end user just to go, next. So the shelf life is completely changed. Where before I used to release it, and for a year people were still going on about the song, and I was like, okay, this is good. Then it went down to a couple of months, and now it's just literally, I see artists releasing like twice a month, and that's why it's because they've set that bar. It's the end user always expects it now. So this is the thing. So yeah, so I've seen literally from CDs to CDs downloading to streaming.
Yeah. I mean, you're younger than me, but I remember it, when it was even easier than that. It was an advert in the this for this, and
exactly. So we had that. There was even like these like this for this, and whatever, the Punjab Times, they had the middle page where they had Asian music that was released at Bhangra, and that is always featured there. Now there's so much music, and it's a good thing because there's more variety, but it's a lot more work for me to go out there and then start promoting on the social platforms, because there's not one social platform, there's loads, and there's Facebook, Instagram, and even now there's TikTok that I don't know. I'm trying to get, there's literally there's so much out there, where before it was, you would know where to go. And now it's just, it's a game changer now.
Yeah. And it's like you said, in one way, it's really good. It's made music, democratized it, right? So it's available to anyone, and there's not the gatekeepers like the record companies or the TV channels, where they, basically it's just some group of people saying, I like that song, I don't like that song. It's not really an educated guess, or so. But now it's down to the public if they really enjoy it and they like it. And I think it's easier for obviously established artists like Diljit and Sidhu Moosewala, and for them guys, they put out stuff and everyone's gonna stream it, everyone's gonna download it, and but I think for the majority of people, that's like the top 10% of the industry, right? So, but the majority of the people, it's tough life, and like you said, it's throwaway music. I mean, it's even when I do the little promos, I usually get a song from the artist if I'm doing a Bhangra interview, and I go onto iTunes and I'm just blown away because all the songs are there, and like 79p, I buy them, and it's 79p. It's ridiculously cheap. And when I speak to the artists about it, there's Buddha Jagpal I spoke to about Barnagali, and I was thinking, he spent so much time and effort. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's a great song, and it's 79p. Click.
Yeah,
that's all it is, man. And it's
it.
So literally, there's no money actually in the songs. Would you say?
It depends who you are. So, for example, as you said, you got Diljit, you got Sidhu Moosewala. So all these artists are, like, as you said, the top tier. So they've got a following. So what they would want to do is get subscribers and followers onto their channels. So that's where once they have the channels, that's where they can get, when they release something, YouTube, for example, will pay them. So this is where the money's at. Even now, so for example, if I've got a song and I've got the product ready, and the song's good, if I got the video, I can actually approach record labels and say, look, I've got everything ready. You just need to release it. And then what they normally do is give you a one-off fee. But the problem is now is a lot of these companies, especially India companies, because they're the big companies now, they literally want all your rights. And this is a problem. As an artist, I've always been told, like everyone that I've been involved with, is never give your royalties away or your rights away, because you never know where that song will be used. And now every artist I see, or every artist that approaches me, for example, I've got a few singers coming up to me and saying, oh, we want this song. The first thing is saying, oh, I can't give you the rights. Because I normally say, look, I normally want a percentage, because obviously I'm making the music for the song. But now it's come to a point where they've given the rights already to the record label before even making the song. So this is the thing. Is just it's such a big change from where we started. Yeah. So yeah, let's see.
It's definitely a difficult balancing act there. I mean, why did you do it, man?
Now is do you know what? Honestly, it's as much as everyone says the same thing. It is the love and the passion for it. Even if you listen to my music, it's not. So what? When I try to make the music, I make a song that I like. So, for example, if I like it, I'll release it, and then I would want to listen to it at least. I'll sit in the car and listen to it 10, 20, 30 times. And if it gets boring after then to me, then I'm like, okay, I don't want to release this. But this is the thing. It's just so much. Like, I've been doing it for so long. You love Bhangra, you love Punjab. The whole culture is completely. It's so unique, and it's so even the music to it is so. I used to listen to it at school on the way back home. Even, for example, I used to listen to the adverts at the end of the tapes, and look forward to. And this would be, obviously now the turnover time's like so quick. But back then we waited a year for a song. If someone's saying, oh, releasing next year, it will be next year. So we wait a whole year to listen to that song. And that's why it is. I think it's because of that. And because I've gone through that, that's why I'm still sort of releasing, really. Yeah, and I've got so many songs left to release. So it'd be a shame not to.
You're hooked, man. You're hooked. You're
that'd be a good album name.
Yeah, hooked. Yeah, definitely. And I remember them little promos at the end of the cassettes. And I remember the Punjabi MC one, Jindamai.
Yeah.
And And what was it? A minute, 2 minutes long? I must have rinsed that promo. It was absolutely amazing, and obviously a great album. But so for yourself, like you said, you've got so many songs ready, and are you planning now to get them out?
Yeah, the aim now is just to release as much as I can, because I've got the time now. The songs literally, I had an album ready, but I don't see the benefit of an album anymore. If you see, no one really releases albums; it's always singles. And I know if I release the album, everyone will listen to 2 songs, and then the rest of the other 8 will just go to waste. So rather than doing that, I'd rather release it a single and try and dedicate a video to it. If not, then we can try and think of other ways of promoting it, but trying to give that song as much publicity as possible. So so I've got so many songs sitting there. It's just about releasing them now.
Yeah. I mean, talking about albums, you're right. It's about longevity, isn't it? Because with an album, it's out, like you said, 2 weeks, maybe a month with an album, and it's gone. Where you could you could spread it out for half a year, maybe, of releases. So you have to weigh that factor, and it's difficult now, because obviously you could, like you just released your single, and if that was people liked it, that also in turn gets you bookings as a DJ.
That used to be the case, but now it's more. For example, when it started up, let's just say 10 years ago, that was the case. So a lot of DJs were releasing music to get functions, to get gigs. I think now it's not that much of the case, because there is a lot of DJs now are just because they've got platforms there, for example, SoundCloud and whatnot. They're doing remixes where that remix might get a lot more exposure than releasing a song. So this is the thing. So where even like what I was doing was I was releasing songs and then doing the releasing remixes at the same time, just to keep current and trying to stay in the public's eye, and then because you don't want to now, for example, if a lot of people think as releasing a song is direct advertisement for a wedding, for example, or a gig, but it's more in a way, it just keeps you there. And then, for example, if just say someone's getting married, they might just think about the song that day and then think, oh yeah, this guy DJs. So it's not exactly, we're not exactly saying because we've done this track, we're going to DJ at your wedding. It's more just, it's more promotion, really, promotion.
Yeah. I remember it was a big thing at one point, and not only was now it's a struggle for DJs, probably a struggle now for ghost producers as well.
This is the thing; they probably pop out quite a lot now, if anything. That was a big thing a few years ago. Yeah, I remember that's all we used to talk about and just laugh about. And,
everyone was trying to work out who did the music for this, right?
There should have been. You know what you should do? You should make like a quiz show. And play the song and say who originally done this, and that's what I used to do. I used to sit there and I used to hear like a sound, for example, and I was like, oh, this is not them. This is like we knew obviously, but it was just that era. Then it was so heavily influenced by it was just all over the place.
Yeah, and I think if we did do a quiz, probably the one of the main answers will be someone like Cam Frantic, right? And
definitely. He was just, you could hear him from a mile away. Like the sound his sound was like a different language. It was like his own language, because you could straight away hear the tumbi, the tol, everything, and that was dominating UK Bhangra for like a decade, and that's all you were hearing, and it's. It's a shame that now, we still want to hear it. If like, I wouldn't mind hearing that sound again. Yeah. Because it's all changed now to, like now you still got that same, not in a bad way, but you got that talkie loop that's playing all the time. It's quite hip hop influenced. So I don't mind a bit of like this music, man.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Frantic, fantastic producer. I'd love for him to come out with some music. It'd be amazing. And
yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
I might try and get him on the show here. Let's speak to him. I'll ask him. I'm going to say, who did you make music for?
Drop just get some secrets out.
yeah, that might be an idea. And like you're right as well. Music's changed as well, and. It's interesting because you've been around in the scene for so long, not just producing, as DJing as well. So you hear what's current and what's kicking on the dance floor, and it has come to a point now where a lot of the music has got that style of, I think when True School came on the scene and he's a music, it's absolutely amazing. Right. So, and people like to jump on a bandwagon. Right.
This is the thing. He done really well with it, and then the thing is with Apne, especially Punjabis, if someone's doing it well, everyone thinks, oh, if he's doing it, that means I can do it. And it's just, this is with anything with Punjabis or Asians. It's just even business-wise, someone opens a shop and is doing really well, someone else will open a shop next door.
Yeah. So podcast as well, mate. It happens to me. Podcast as well.
Yeah. There you go.
There's loads of them out there, but when you're a pioneer of that sound, which he undoubtedly was, no one's ever going to be as good as him. You might get the odd.
Exactly.
You might get the odd one.
You can always. Everyone can replicate, but it won't be the main the same thing.
No,
so this
no.
Everyone's tried. The thing is, a lot of people have tried, and I know India, especially India artists, have tried that as well. But I know they can't do it. For example, that's why you got Karan Ujla now. He's doing really well, but he's gone directly to the source, True School, to do his album. Yeah. So you could. That's where you know that.
yeah. That's going to be exciting. And but for yourself, like you said, you keep your sound the way you like it, and not really look at any trends going on. Because if you did, you probably would have had a rap kind of song, wouldn't you, at the moment?
this is the thing, or something about a gangster or guns, or
Yeah.
this is this is where the trend is. But the problem is when I play it, number one, everyone's gonna watch it. If it's a video, my parents are gonna see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is the thing you do,
yeah.
and I feel comfortable even when we did. I did a track with Shin with the last year Kaka Paniola, and that was shot in India, and it was just like an old school sort of storyline where the girl likes the guy, and it was just like everyone can sit there and watch the film, the video. And same with this, we're trying to keep it that way, where there's some videos where you're watching it, it's done really well. Don't get me wrong, like the production quality of it's like a Hollywood movie, right? But the thing is, I just feel a bit awkward sitting there and watching half of these videos.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of testosterone floating around in these
Yeah.
videos.
This is the thing.
Always bloody angry, ain't they? And they're always.
You know what it is? I've got a sort of concept, a theory, and it's called, basically, I blame it on Netflix. So, for example, Netflix started, all the shows were like gangster shows at one point. So there was like Narcos, there was Power, there's all these shows, and that was the culture. Like everyone's, that's what they used to watch, and then that is suddenly became the music. So now it's all like, if you watch Bhangra music, it's literally mimicking everything that comes out in all these TV shows.
Yeah, yeah. So like the Bhangra industry is copying Netflix. Fuck's sake.
This is what everything is like. When I watch it, it's literally, I see them just that all the film, like all the videos are mimicking, like copying all these, like, yeah, all these new TV shows that come out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Bhangra music does absorb. You know, even the term Bhangra music always associated with UK Bhangra, right?
Yes.
You know, so even like, you know, I'm talking about bands like DCS and Up and
Yeah.
That was UK Bhangra music, right? And
yeah.
But now, when you say Bhangra, it's a worldwide industry now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not located just to the UK, so it's
so global. It's unbelievable. So, for example, I've been saying for quite a long time that even Bhangra music should be made into different genres. So because there's so much music coming out, it's like, for example, pop music or English music, making it into just one genre. You know, you've got jazz music, you've got Afro-Caribbean, it's sort of sub-genres.
Yeah.
So this is what they could do with Bhangra music, because there's so many songs coming out, and then it's there's different styles. So you've got Sartaj, then you've got Sidhu Moosewala, then you've got Diljit, who's on a different scale. Then you've got that Kanwar Garewal. So they're all completely different artists, but they've been put into Bhangra category, where it could be, they could sort of make a different genre for different artists.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I love a bit of Sartaj though.
Yeah.
He's fantastic, isn't he? I mean, what an artist! Sometimes a person.
You know what? His songs are amazing, but I even like watching his interviews because he's quite intellectual, and when he's talking, comes across so nice that you see that he's actually he's genuine in that way.
Yeah, and he's a poet. He's a pure poet. You can tell, and his songs. And I'm lucky enough. One of my friends that I know, Sonny Dincy, he's done a few videos for Sartaj, and I said, "What's he like?"
Oh, okay.
You know, I go, "What's he like?" You know, as a person. He goes, "He's the nicest person you could ever meet," and so I'm taking that. So sometimes you meet people and they can be arseholes, right? But
yeah. I've been hearing that quite a lot. But...
yeah, you've heard it for 15 years about people, but but he comes across as very nice, and his music's absolutely fantastic. His music's so deep. His lyrics are so deep, and his music.
His lyrics are something else. Like if you actually take time and sit down and listen to his lyrics, they're just. When I listen to some of his music, it's just you think, like, how has he come up with these lyrics, because they're so deep and they're so meaningful. So he could have, for example, there's one word he could have used, but he's used the most complex, and it just it goes hand in hand with the music as well.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm always he's on a different scale, basically.
Yeah, he definitely is, and he's got his own sort of niche area, hasn't he?
Yes,
There's no one really like him. And I remember
exactly.
when he released his album, he had he had the lyrics, didn't he, in the inlay to his
Yes.
songs.
Yeah,
And I just
yeah,
thought
yeah.
it's a beautiful touch that he's put the effort into writing the
I've
lyrics down.
always this is the thing that you sort of miss as well. Like when I used to go, for example, when I used to go to India, I used to go once a year or twice a year. But I used to go there and then just get loads of CDs. And when you get the CDs, you open it, and because it's in like a lot of them, there's one was Sartaj. I can't remember who the other one was, and they all had translations in English as well.
That's
So
right.
that's now obviously we were talking about it before. We're missing all that now because it's all it's all on your phone, and it's you stream it and download it now. But I remember the hard copy, everything was written there. You could see, even for example, people who couldn't read Punjabi, they could read the English version, like the Roman Punjabi, whatever they call it. But
Yeah.
it was good. It was different, and I think that's what's missed now.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, special artists what about for yourself? What kind of people do you look for when you want to produce a song? Are you looking for a particular type of voice or style?
Yeah, the thing is, I love singers who have like a powerful voice. So that's what I've always, even as well, when you have Bhangra artists or Bhangra dancers, how they used to dance. If they had, if they had a Bhangra group, for example, and they were, doing the Bhangra dance or whatever they were doing at a wedding, if you had that main singer who was a solid singer, that just sets everything off, and sometimes you would play the tumbi at the same time, but that vocal, that traditional Bhangra vocal, was what I was always after. And I've had it, luckily, touch wood, I've had it with this song, and my previous ones as well. There's some artists that I'm doing music for, and they're sort of learning at the moment. So the thing is, a lot of artists just want to jump in and start singing and release straight away. But there's more of a process, especially with Bhangra, because it's all now. I know I'm saying they're powerful voices that I'm looking for, but now again, there's singers out there that are singing like they're rapping, and it's working, right? So I probably would prefer the whole solid voice, powerful voice. That's what I still prefer.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you agree, but I think the king for that type of voice was
Yeah.
Bindra Kia.
Oh my God! You know what? I was on Instagram today and I saw a video, an old school video in 1999, and it was I think it was in Handsworth, and there was just like, there's a small hall, and there was like 30, 40 people just sitting there, and there's Bindra Kia sitting there on a table at the front, and they're just sitting there, and he's just singing to them non-stop. Like, it's not with no music or anything. It's just like, it felt like a meet and greet, but he was just singing, and it was just like, imagine we could have that now. So it was just, if you hear it, I'll probably send you a link later.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen one. There's a show he did in Gravesend, in a leisure centre actually, and
Yeah.
Good
As
old
you do.
good old Gravesend, right? And he was singing, and I kept having to. I was thinking, is this a cassette playing? Is this a tape? Because his voice was so absolute. It was just absolutely beautiful, right? And the power he had, because he sort of started off doing he was a singer money for the Bhangra dancers, and
exactly.
And
he used to do all the hicks and whatnot, and then that was that I think that started the whole trend as well with singers.
with the hair, yeah. I remember that, and I remember it was a bus guide, wasn't it? His cassette that came out, and I mean, what amazing! It's fantastic when you see an artist come along, and people like Diljit and Sidhu, they're like that as well. They come along out of nowhere. It seems to us anyway. I'm sure they put the work in all them years.
Yeah.
But there's something special about them. There's that X factor.
Yeah, they've got that charisma. You need that. You need something there. Firstly, you always need that talent. So many people have tried doing this without talent, and it doesn't go far. So these guys have got natural talent, and even with Diljit, as much as people say, like, he's made it now, but he's been grafting for years. Like, if you see his albums, and he's done like, I think 10, 15 albums, and he's been grafting forever. And obviously he's got his break now and he's gone into Bollywood and whatnot, but it wasn't literally overnight. And even with Sidhu, there's like now you see there's some clips coming out of him. You know, he's in India and he's waiting for people to give him a mic so he can, you know, sing a song at his Milla in his own pind a couple of years back. And now it's completely the opposite, where, you know, he tells people what, you know, what he wants and whatnot.
Yeah, he's a phenomenon at the moment, isn't he? You know,
Yeah.
and he seems to be releasing bangers. No matter, people try and criticize him, and they're ready to criticize him. And sometimes I don't know if he puts it on himself in some of the things he does, but he keeps putting out these songs.
This is the thing, but you'll have to understand that he's quite young still, so he's still going to make a lot of mistakes. The thing is, now the culture is so instant as well. So I keep talking about this culture now. For example, if you go on, like, if he goes on Insta Live and he'll say something, he's got no time to rectify that. So he can't delete it or whatnot. For example, one of his fans is probably recording it because he's got like 2 million fans, die-hard fans, where they will, you know, they'll post it, and then once it's on the internet, that's it. It's on that platform where, so this is the thing.
I mean, we live in a cancel culture as well, don't we? We like to cancel people, don't we? And not just about what they said maybe last week or the day before, what they may have said freaking 10 years ago.
This is the thing.
Pull out a tweet from someone, said, you said this, and you know, I don't know what I said on the last show. I can't remember what I was going on about.
I don't remember what I did yesterday. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. But I think they have to accept this as the artists, because they're doing this, and they should be expecting this, because if you're an artist, you're in the public domain. Especially India, they're lethal. the followers and whoever, like his fans, they're like die-hard fans. Like, you can see, if you've seen people getting tattoos off him and whatnot, so you can't really, you know, you've got to sort of stay up there with them.
And it's constant, isn't it? I remember, you know, talking of India, they tried to cancel Gurdas Mann not that long ago, didn't they? You know? And so
this is the problem. And imagine how long he's been doing it, and everyone's saying he's a living legend and whatnot, and then for them to still be able to try and cancel him, there's no, basically, then everyone's a target, basically.
Everyone is a target, right? So anyone watching or listening to this, don't rest on your laurels. You know, we'll be coming for you as well. We're going to cancel you out as well. If you could take out Gurdas Mann, right? I think no one's got a chance. You know,
exactly. This is the problem, man.
But it's such a weird culture we live in now, and obviously music plays such an important part in culture as well. And you could see how the music trends have changed and how we absorb. You know, there's reggae at one point, garage music. We had, you know, R&B has always been there, and hip hop. You know, it's constant. You know, and
that's always there. Yeah.
You know, and we absorb these sounds, don't we? You know, I mean, if we talk about a pure raw Punjabi sound, it will be, you know, a Lagojje, Tumbi, Solgi, it will be the rawest of raw, right? And I think UK Bhangra played such an important part in that.
The bands set the stage, basically, and then a lot of artists. The thing is, because we had a lot of Asians living in UK, so we had that sort of UK culture within us, where we wanted to make our own sound, and that's when, obviously, when people like Bali Sagu and whatnot, you know, made that sound, and everyone was like, wow, this is amazing. And then they just set off. Even the garage scene was amazing. That was where I sort of got brought up, definitely, with the garage scene, and it was, you know, the likes of RDB and everyone just banging out those bangers, literally. And that was, again, completely different to the Goze and the Tol, the Tumbi, completely different to that, where this was so new. And then I can still see it still sort of creeping back in, because I think a lot of people still miss that sound. It's more of uplifting hype sound. So I think it might creep back in, but now obviously it's very heavily influenced by hip hop.
Yeah.
Because hip hop's timeless, right? So people are sampling songs from like 1990s, and it's still working now.
Yeah.
Where all these guys from Canada, like there's a guy called AP Dylan. All his music's like it's sampled, but it works, and it's got such a good flow to it. But but the music was made by Tupac, basically, or whoever in the 90s. But now it's in 2020. He's just put his flow on it, and it's just completely. It's so current, basically.
Yeah. I love that guy. He's my workout music, that man. And
man, he's a different. He's so basically every year I feel there's a new artist that sets the pace. So obviously we had literally have everyone, Diljit, Sidhu, Karan Aujla. Now it's him. Now it's AP Dilma.
I like him. And it's interesting because, you know, when you talk about garage music, I was speaking to Surinder Ratan, you know, probably one of the pioneers of garage UK. Right? And he said one of the reasons he kind of made that music, because he's from Manchester. So he wasn't involved in the Midlands, Birmingham scene. And he didn't really know many people there. And he goes, I was just making music, what I heard in Manchester. If you remember, Manchester was a big clubbing area. It's probably still
yeah.
So he goes, I was just making stuff that I listened to in clubs. And then he got some MCs, you know, that he found in a gig. And the same with RDB, because they're away from the actual sort of...
They were away, yeah. They were very northern. So it was when he made it, if you even hear all his music, even now what he's releasing is completely different to everyone else. So, and it's got that sound where it's got like a club sound where it's I think he did another. I think it was Huss Huss he did a few years ago, and that was like a nice house beat. So it's always different. I think London never used to have that type of producers, if that makes sense, because Birmingham had a lot of producers, Midlands. Then you had up north with Surinder Ratan and RDB. I think that's where the garage sort of blew up. And he did, even the track he did, it was the lick. And that was, I remember that at school. It was the way it was done. It was so simple.
Yeah.
And it was so effective. It was just, that's still probably the best Punjabi garage track till date.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I said to him, did you realize, you know, you'd make something that's changed a genre in Bhangra music? He goes, no, not really. He goes, because he was in Manchester, people were ringing him up saying, you know, your song's doing really well in the clubs and stuff. He goes, oh, right, is it? He goes, no one's telling me. Right. He didn't really know.
Yeah. This is again, then you didn't have social media. So, so you can't get tagged. So it was the good old Nokia phones and call them up and say, so that's how it probably was. And now, even if you look at it, for example, I'm in London, and it's quite a multicultural, global city. So something I do won't be quite. It won't have a niche here. So it will be something quite international if I produce something. So if you go to like the northern country, the northern towns, they probably have got their own sound or their own culture where the music they play is, you know, house. You have EDM. You have you know, a two-step. So it's always so they probably got a bit more freedom to do music like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting as well because I remember back in the day, and you probably remember when TV channels sort of ruled the world, and you had to get your video onto a TV channel, right? And you could phone in, couldn't you, to play your song? Not your own song, or other people's songs. And I know people used to buy them bloody vouchers, didn't they? And all night.
They must have called those. They must have. There was a few, the music box or something, and
that's
you should call up.
Yeah. 100% they did. 100%. And that was kind of the precursor to buying your own views on YouTube, right?
Yeah. So we Punjabis started this.
Yeah. Can't be going around blaming people now, can you?
30 years ago, we started this trend.
When you buy texting away and getting your song to play. But that was, I mean, it was because we didn't have YouTube, wasn't even around then, right? And
exactly.
It was nice to see your video on TV. It was a massive thing. I mean, these days, I mean, even this podcast is on YouTube, right? And I put it. my kids want to be YouTubers.
Oh,
Right, they're younger, right?
Right.
And I said I'm on YouTube, and they were like, "No, you're not." I go, "I am." And then I put it on for them and blew their minds. They were like, they couldn't believe it. And
There you go. This is the thing,
they will go, "How many subscribers have you got?" Right? Because the shows they watch, they got like millions of subscribers. I went, "No, I haven't got that many."
This is the thing. This is the thing. So obviously, everyone's looking at subscribers, views. So, but the thing is, I prefer, like, if someone has shared something that in my circle, for example. So if someone I know has shared something, then I'll watch it. But if someone's, if it's so commercial, I try to stay away from it, because it's quite a generalized view trying to put across.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So now, if, like, for example, my friend has shared something, I'll watch it because he's my friend for a reason. Number one. And then, hopefully our views are in line for me to watch something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. And I think it's a problem as well, where we're becoming a culture of numbers, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of valuing ourselves and our music and our artwork and any kind of creativity we kind of do in life based on a number, so exactly. we might create something that we love and we put it out there, and you might, not many people may not like it, they might not understand it, and that it's an effect on people, right? They think, well, I'm not doing that again, and people stop.
The thing is, a lot of people, for me to release something, I don't really look at the numbers, because, for example, I try to stay away. I look at the comments, for example, just so that I can better myself. For example, if someone's not feeling a song or some type of a part of the song, then that's constructive criticism, right? But if it's a numbers thing, the thing is, especially India and Bollywood have made these views it's so fake at the moment that it's just, even if you do have a banger and it does do well, people might doubt you and say, "Oh, how has he got this many?" And there might be genuine views, but because India have sort of tarnished their whole reputation on this, this is the thing. You can't. It's like you can't win now. So this is the problem. So, no. But I prefer, like, now the good thing is, when I release something, I'll go to all the platforms where I've released it, and then I'll also check the. They give you analysis, so you can check which countries are viewing it, which countries are playing your songs, which towns. So it's gone down to that sort of. That sort of helps me. But I know, But these views things is always because it's always the case.
Because you know what, you're never gonna be satisfied, because if I let's take this show for example. Say if I get 100,000 shares or likes.
Yeah.
Next one I put out might get 90,000. I'm going to think, shit, I got 90,000, right?
Exactly.
And then or if I get 100,000, 200,000, then 1 million, but I don't want 1 million. I now want 2 million, and I don't want 2 million. I want the fastest 2 million, right? Now it's a speed thing. It's 24 hours. Now it's a new thing about comments. The most commented video,
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I don't know. It never stops, does it? It never ends.
These numbers. It's always a numbers game now. But I've been watching this documentary. I'm not plugging this documentary, but it's called Social Dilemma. And I watched it, and it was amazing how so obviously we're the end user, right? So when we're on the phone and whatnot, we're the end user. But it's amazing how detailed these companies, for example, Instagram or Facebook, have gone into this for them to even influence music. So music now is influenced by social media. So, for example, this is what I was reading up on. So after a few years, I was looking at all the songs, right? So when I listen to a song, I'll make a playlist. So if I'm driving, or once a year when I go to the gym, I'll have like 4 or 5 songs I'll listen to continuously. So recently, all the songs are becoming less than 4 minutes or less than 3 minutes. And I was like, why, why is it, why are they getting shorter and shorter, the songs? So now, then there was an article out where someone was doing a study on Drake, and he released songs all under 3 minutes, only because he done. So they done a whole report where if someone likes a song, they won't play it past 3 minutes 10 seconds. So he's done it less than 3 minutes. So they'll play the song again, and that will add to their stream. So they get another stream out of it. And it's so, like, if you think about it, how in depth and detailed this is, that people are going, and analyzing trends, analyzing behavior, and how Instagram, for example, has affected music, and how long a track is to be made because of social media.
That's yeah. I mean, that's super interesting. Definitely, I've seen that documentary as well, and it's so interesting you say that, because I had Butta Jagpal and I was making the video, the promo for it, and it was by Nagade by Safri Boys, and that's 7 minutes long. That song.
There you go. This is the thing. This is the thing.
Even when I downloaded it, I saw it. I thought 7 minutes, bloody long song, right? And
yeah.
But these days, 3 minutes or under 3 minutes, that's nothing. It's like that. And so he's kind of clocked onto the throwaway aspect of music in a sense, hasn't he?
Exactly.
So
and then the same thing. Diljit's done the same thing with his recent album. If you go there, he's done. If you look at how many songs he's done and how long the songs are, they're quite short compared to what they used to be. Where we used to love 6-7 minute song. It was perfect, right? And now if it's less than 3 minutes, it's like a cliffhanger. So you want to go back to it and then keep going back to it, and it's clever, man.
Yeah, it's so interesting the way data is kind of changing our art even as well, and I mean, for yourself as well. So when you're creating songs for yourself, are you looking into these things? Are you thinking,
this is the thing. So the other day I did a song. It was it's a love song, but it was a dubstep song. So I was like, you know what? I'm now at a stage where I want to experiment with music. And then what I did was do a track with so the song was actually like 5 minutes. And I was like, so I was sitting there, I was like, this is too long. So, and this is basically because of what I've heard. It's a direct, what I've heard and what I've been listening to. So then I had to literally cut out a verse. And I was like, okay. And I was thinking, should I do that? But then I was like, okay, cut out a verse and then cut out some music pieces. And this is where it, in my head, I was stuck in two minds, because I could either release it and go with everyone and how it's doing, and it'd probably do better, or I'm literally, imagine, it felt like me, I'm making a cake or something, but I'm not putting all the ingredients in. So that's how it felt to me. But now you can see, like, a 5 minute song will not, I feel, doesn't work. Like, but it's just, you just have to go with the times.
Yeah, I mean, how far will it go? Will he have songs for like 2 minutes or a minute long?
I think there will be. I think there might even be a song for, I think someone will release a song for about a minute. Because I personally think that, because the, like you have posts, like on Instagram and whatnot, they're limited to 1 minute. So I think someone will release a song for 1 minute.
And it would just, 60 seconds.
It'll probably work.
It'll probably work.
Bastards.
Yeah. I mean, I've got no chance, man. My I don't know if you know, my podcast interviews are like epics, mate. They're over an hour probably, and
yeah.
I don't care, because I'm like, when I sometimes meet people that I've loved growing up, I'm thinking I don't want to interview them for half an hour or 20 minutes because they might never talk to me again.
This is the thing. This is why I said to you, like, how long will it be? Like, but the thing is, it's better when we just go with the flow. Like now, we just literally spoke about everything that I wouldn't. If I was thinking about what to talk about, I would never have thought of this.
No, exactly, because if I said to you, look, I've got these are the set questions, and I'll send them to you. You'll be sort of memorizing these questions.
I'll probably have like post notes around.
Yeah, and then if I divert from them questions, it might throw you, and you think, well, he's going to ask me about, that. And so, I mean, that's why I don't do it. And you know what? We were talking for an hour, and you was worried about what we were going to talk about.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
Yeah, right. And that's how
the good thing is, like now, especially because you got lockdown. We can't meet people and whatnot. There's, now we've just had a conversation basically, and where we would have been doing this every week somewhere, but because we can't do this, it's a good way of, letting it out and talking to people, and do you know what I mean? So it's
nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to talk, and I enjoy it because, and it's different with the podcast. It's slightly different because it's not live. I don't do Insta lives or Facebook lives. I don't do that kind of stuff. People that do them are fantastic, but I won't specifically sit down at a certain time to watch something. I just don't, because my life. I've got kids and I've got family.
I think everything's like that now. Everything's changed, where nothing is everything you need to have instantly. For example, I don't watch live TV anymore. Like the most I'll ever watch is a football match because it has to be played at that time. But otherwise, TV now, that's why all these streaming, again, Netflix and whatnot, Amazon Prime, they're up there now because it's instant. Everything's instant. YouTube's instant. So
it's on demand, isn't it? It's on demand. So when you want to watch it, you can watch it. And it just works better for people's lives. And so even though these interviews are long, I know people will listen to half an hour of it, pause it, and listen to the half an hour another time. And I'm not going to stop, man. I'm not going to start making 2-minute videos.
The thing is, you lose the. I think you lose the essence of it as well. It's a lot of people try to make these podcasts into, when they do a trailer, they try to make it into like a movie. So they just chuck in a word that someone said and whatnot. So with that, I think if you listen to it a good hour, because a lot of people are driving, or even if they're working, they have something in the background. It's good to have that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you're talking to someone, to get a real essence of that person and their real thought processes behind their work or whatever they do, you can't do it in half an hour.
Yeah.
Some interviewers may be able to do it. They're probably better than me. I can't. It takes me a good hour to work it out, right? What's going on? Exactly. Like I said, I'll get people on here that I'll probably wouldn't have a chance to talk to.
Yeah,
and I enjoy talking to you about music. It's been fantastic. I'm enjoying
brilliant. It. It's different as well. So a lot of people, I've done a lot of interviews before, and it's always, it's straight to the point about the song and how you've done it, and this is obviously more in depth. You sort of now know why I'm doing it rather than why. So it's just rather than saying, oh, it's out now, blah blah blah. This is you get to know the process, and even like the conversations we've had, you can sort of see where our minds are at, and how we're not just releasing whatever we want. We're actually thinking about what's going on at the moment, and obviously releasing accordingly.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think people that would listen to this and watch this will think, you know what, I'm gonna look out for his songs, because I agree with him. I understand what his sort of thought process is behind music and how he thinks about the industry and these short songs, and I want to hear what he's coming out with. So that's the way I think of it. If people sort of understand your way of thinking on music, and other people that have been on the show, they're going to want to check it out. They want to think, all right, let's go.
No, definitely.
To his music. Let's see what he's been going on for an hour. I don't want to hear what he's on. Let's see what his music's like. And for your sort of future projects, and we talked a bit about the DJing. We don't know what's going to happen about that. But what about musically and producing?
Music now, I'll probably just want to. I've got a lot of songs ready, as I said, but I just want to set some time aside just to work on them. I like to do a lot of sort of music where I can try to experiment, but the thing is, there's a lot of you have to have the balance of what's out there at the moment and what people want to listen to, and there's actually so many songs I've made which are just for me. So I don't know if that's ever going to be released, but because I like that type of music or what it is, yeah, so it's just now it's just going to be literally release as much as I can, just so that, because what it is, I started again 10. So next week will be 10 years since I first released my first track, and it's literally been every year I try to release something. I had a bit of a break, and then since last year I was like, look, so obviously with Shin, done a track with him, and then done this one, and now I just want to just get it out, because it's just there's no point waiting in this industry, so you can't wait. There's a lot of people I know in the UK. I know so many artists where they've got some amazing music, but they're just sitting on it. They're not releasing it. They're waiting for the right time, but there's never a right time. We've got COVID at the moment, so
no,
right,
I think that's also a lesson in life as well.
Yeah,
you shouldn't wait for things to happen, because that was me. Many years ago, I was like that, right? I'd be thinking, I'm waiting for an opportunity, someone to give me an opportunity to do things, someone to give me a chance. And I was waiting, and then I created the other podcast, British Asian Podcast, and I waited on that to release it at the perfect moment. Now, if you think about it, there's not really a perfect moment to release a podcast. You just release it, man.
This is the thing. Even like when I'm doing like marketing for the songs, it literally was like, oh, when do you release it? When should we? And for some reason, I don't know why, all my songs release in September, and it's weird because if you look at all the dates, it's always in September. So again, that wasn't done on purpose. So this is the thing. Everything happens for a reason, and it's probably the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So we're looking out for next September. Is that what you're saying?
Now I'm, hopefully, let's see. Hopefully, I'm trying to release another one before this year. Finishes basically. And then just gear up for next year. Hopefully there's some good news. But
I mean, I genuinely mean that. Hopefully there's some good news for DJs, the wedding industry, and people getting married. They're kind of stuck as well. They can't forget them guys as well. Obviously, it's a hard time out for people. There's a lot of jobs, on the line now. It is a tough time. I mean, I don't think we spoke about actually the creation of the videos. You need videos, I think. These days.
So even the videos I did. So what I did was I actually got them shot in. I got this one shot in India, and the only reason being I was so busy here, and I couldn't put that time and effort in making that video here. So we went India and just literally shot it there, because they have everything ready. So for example, if I was here, I'd have to get people to carry lights and cameras, and I would be helping out as well, because obviously that's how we are. But in India it's completely the opposite. It was like you're the end client, you don't touch anything, but we'll shoot the video. So, and it was just I just wanted I actually shot one here about 8 years ago for this, and then it didn't really come out the way I wanted it to. So later on last year, I redone the music for the song and then reshot the video, just so that it's current with what everything is now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult time because, like I said, you need the videos, and you can't really. I mean, I've actually been in the video recently, and I can't tell you who it is. It'll be out soon as a cameo, and I might tell you once we stop recording. But luckily, we did it before these restrictions came in, and we did it all safely, And but I think that will have to stop soon as well. So it's a difficult time. I think people are going to have to get creative and to make videos in a different way, maybe. But like you said, with the lockdown, has brought out a lot of music. A lot of music's been released, and it is good. It's good to have a variety of music out there. Sometimes you can get caught in the numbers. And you can caught in that sort of vibe. You want to, if you don't get 1 million views, you don't think you're a success. But then, if 10,000 people have listened to your song, 10,000 people is a lot of people. Put them in a
That's
room.
a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot of people.
That is a lot. When I see some videos, like I see if it's 10,000, I'm like, that's actually quite a lot of people if you think about it. And then there's some new artists that I've seen, and they've had 10, even 20,000, and I'm like, that's well done. That's pretty good. Whereas when you see 540 million, you're like trying to think how many Indians are there in this. Do you know what I mean? Like they're hitting numbers past Beyonce and Drake, and we're so this is a thing, but it's each to their own, right?
Yeah. Look, we'll come towards the end. This is the end. It's like a song, isn't it? This is the end. And it's been great talking to you, DDS. I really enjoyed this, and it's good to talk about the industry. Let off a few
it's
rants,
good.
And
well, I think it's more just again conversations where I probably haven't had and you haven't had, and we've had this opportunity to talk, and it's good because you have to let it out sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's good to talk, mate. It's good to talk. Look, it's been fantastic having you on. Come on again. When you got a new release, I'll mark it in for next September.
No problem. 100% it will be September at least.
And if COVID, if we suddenly find a vaccine and you're doing a video, give me a shout. I'm an expert now. I've been
definitely. As long as you let me know who the cameo was for.
I'll tell you after this, once we stop this, right? And but look, it's been fantastic having you on, and good luck for everything you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Actually, before I forget, is there a place where people can kind of follow your music? I nearly forgot, your social media tags,
So obviously I'm on all the socials. It's at DDS_the1st. So Instagram, Facebook, whatever, all of them really. So I post quite often my music, so everything's on there. And even when I'm at studio, I'll post songs while I'm at studio, so you see me actually making the music rather than having bang, there's the music, there's a song. You'll see the whole progression. So so it's at DDS_the1st.
All right, fantastic. I'll add that to the show notes so people can click on and follow you. This is really the end now, and I told you I don't know what I'm doing. So, but anyway, look, it's been great having you on, and I've really enjoyed talking to you. Take care.
Perfect. Thank you so much.